Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Ask Better Questions, the podcast where we delve into the nuances of leadership and personal development. Now, I'm your host, Peter, and today we're going to explore a thought-provoking question or thought-provoking quote by Richard Branson. Clients do not come first, employees come first. If you take care of your employees, they will take care of your clients. Now, for those of you who are new here, I'm Peter Adams. I have over 20 years experience in leadership and consulting, and I'm a published author and a speaker in the leadership space, and my mission is to help excellent leaders become exceptional leaders through a better mindset. Before we start today's episode, I'd like to take a minute to thank our sponsor, Color4 Solutions. Color4 Solutions offer leadership training for people who have reached a ceiling in their leadership journey and want to achieve more without dedicating substantial time and effort. So we're trying to accelerate that process. Now, today's episode is titled Employees Come First, and some of you may have recognized it from the title as coming from that famous quote that I've just read from Richard Branson. So I'm going to read it one more time. Clients do not come first, employees come first. If you take care of your employees, they will take care of your clients. Now, was he onto something there? Well, we have a billion reasons to think that he might be. In a time when so many businesses have lost sight of what their core mission is and their leadership is absent, or when it is present, they're misguided, we often need to remind ourselves of fundamentals. When athletes are getting off their game, coaches often return to fundamentals and rebuild their mindset by returning to the fundamentals of their sport. So be it, return to your serve, return to your return of serve in tennis, or for a dozen sports, there are fundamental skills, ball handling skills in ball games and things like that you will always return to because they make you a better player. And heroic and the best players on the planet always have that ability and always have those skills. The fundamental skills are what make you a great player, and you can build on those. So reminding yourself of what's important and why it's important, that will help you with the laser focus on why we do what we do. It's a universal truth that it's the people we lead that will carry out our instructions and follow our plans and ultimately deal with customers and manage problems. And that's why it's the tone at the top that's important. But isn't the old axiom, the customer is always right? Wasn't last week's episode all about why CEOs need to keep in touch with customers and be customer focused? And this episode will try to tie it together. The reason we are customer focused is amply explained in last week's episode. The reason we should be employee focused to achieve that customer focus is what this episode is about and tries to unpack. So this quote from Richard Branson is particularly intriguing because it challenges that conventional wisdom that the customer is always should come first in a business. Instead, it emphasizes the importance of prioritizing the well-being and satisfaction of employees as the foundation for exceptional customer service and business success. The reason we need to be customer-focused is because the business itself is entirely reliant on customers to keep the business alive. It is the oxygen of business. However, you need the lungs, because if you don't have the lungs and you're not looking after your lungs, you can have as many customers as you want. It's not going to work well if you don't have the ability to translate that into money. The reason that CEOs should be focused and management and leadership entirely should be focused on employees is because you don't deal in leadership and management. You don't deal with customers. Employees deal with customers. Your job is to make the employee's job easier so that the employees can then give their entire focus and attention to customers, make that experience enjoyable, and give the customers what they need to continue buying from you. Now, let's unpack this idea further. Why do you think Richard Branson advocates for putting employees first? What does it mean for leadership and organizational culture? And how can we apply this principle to our own businesses? First, let's consider the rationale behind Richard Branson's statement. At its core, it reflects a profound understanding of human dynamics within organizations. Happy, engaged employees are more likely to go above and beyond in their roles, leading to better customer experiences, increased productivity, and ultimately greater profitability. But what does it really mean to prioritize employees? It's not just about offering competitive salaries and benefits, although they are important. It's also about creating a supportive work environment where employees feel valued, respected, and empowered to contribute their best work. At places I've worked at, people turn up for two reasons: paychecks or recognition. And more often than not, recognition can take the form of, hey, I've got a corner office, or hey, I get to work from home, or hey, my team know me as the go-to person and the subject matter expert on X, or hey, I'm recognized as one of the top 3 salespeople for the business, or hey, the CEO knows my name. Those sorts of things are recognition. Those people that turn up for recognition are much easier to lead than those people that solely turn up for paychecks. Paychecks get you so far, and it's not that the people who turn up for recognition don't also turn up for the paycheck. Most of us can't afford to work a passion-only job where we don't get paid. But that said, if there is both those characteristics there, you can definitely lean on the recognition and the passion side of it more than you can just throwing more money at employees. So as a leader, it's our responsibility to foster a culture of trust, open communication, and mutual respect. Now, this involves actively listening to employees' concerns, providing opportunities for growth and development, and recognizing and celebrating their achievements. I'm going to anecdotally mention here that I've worked for a couple of managers, and one in particular used the 1-3-1 rule, which was every time somebody came to them with a problem, they would say, what is your one specific, what's the question? What is the one specific issue we're trying to address here? Define the problem, because a well-defined problem solves half the problem. What are your 3 recommendations? There's generally an A and a B, which is self-evident. Come with 3. So coming up with that 3rd recommendation makes people think outside the box. And what are the 3 answers, 3 possible answers that you have come up with? And then what is your one recommendation? And 90% of the time, the manager found that people know what to do. They know that this is the recommendation we need to go forward with, but they need somebody else to make the decision. And that's what leadership is about. Having people come to you with a 1-3-1 and saying, I agree with your assessment, we should be doing X, and going ahead with that. But I digressed. So how can we practically implement this principle in our organization? So putting employees first. Now, one approach is to involve employees in decision-making processes, as I've just discussed, and soliciting their input on matters that affect them directly. Now, by giving them a voice in shaping that direction and the direction of the company, we not only tap into their collective wisdom, but we also foster a sense of ownership and commitment. Furthermore, investing in employees' well-being, whether through wellness programs, flexible work arrangements, or ongoing training and development, it pays dividends in terms of morale, loyalty, and overall job satisfaction. Now, of course, it's essential to strike a balance between the needs of employees and the demands of customers and shareholders. But as Richard Branson suggests, by prioritizing the former, we ultimately serve the latter more effectively. So let's consider some real-world examples of companies that embody this principle. Take, for instance, Southwest Airlines, renowned for its exceptional customer service. CEO Herb Keller famously declared, "The business of business is people, yesterday, today, and forever." By prioritizing the well-being of its employees, Southwest has cultivated a culture of passion, teamwork, and dedication that sets it apart in the highly competitive airline industry. Now, similarly, companies like Google and Zappos have earned reputations for being great places to work, not only because of the perks they offer, but also because of the emphasis they place on creating a positive and inclusive work environment where employees feel valued and supported. Now, I want to be clear here. Creating a place where your team thrive isn't focused on DEI, okay? Putting people that, for all intents and purposes, are diverse and inclusive and equitable in your team isn't what makes your team function great, okay? It's not It's not a strength. It's not a weakness. It's not important when it comes to making the team work. What is important with making the team work is getting your team members to realize they're a team. Not that they're a series of individuals, but they're a team, and they have outcomes and they have goals to achieve, and they should help each other achieve those goals. Putting in a mix of people can help that, and it can hinder that. Ultimately speaking, what you're trying to focus on is getting the team to work well, not making the team look different. Okay? So, in conclusion, Richard Branson's quote serves as a powerful reminder that in the pursuit of business success, we must never lose sight of the human element. By prioritizing the well-being of our employees, we lay the foundation for sustainable growth, innovation, and customer satisfaction. So the next time you're faced with a decision about where to focus your attention and resources, ask yourself, are we taking care of our employees? Because if we do that, they will take care of our clients. Now, thank you for joining me on this episode of Ask Better Questions. I hope you found our exploration of Richard Branson's quote insightful and thought-provoking. Join me next week as we continue our journey of discovery into the world of leadership and personal development. Until then, keep asking better questions, and remember, leadership is not about having all the answers, it's about asking the right questions. Take care, and we'll see you soon.